Hello, my name is Henry Bowie.
Hi, my name is Kaya Poisel.
Hello, my name is Amy Tran.
Today, we'll be doing a presentation on the ethics of photo manipulation practices in journalism.
In June of 1994, during O.J. Simpson's murder trial, two magazines, Times and Newsweek, both released an edition with O.J.'s mugshot as the front cover. Times edition, however, had significantly edited the image to darken O.J.'s skin tone. This blatant manipulation of the original mugshot casted a more sinister and guilty image of Simpson. Was it ethical for Time magazine to make these changes to the original photo? This large influence over public opinion is the main ethical concern with photo manipulation in journalism.
In the 21st century, it is rare to find a photograph that hasn't been retouched or adjusted in some format by the latest image manipulation software. If you've consumed media from any major media outlet, you have most likely been exposed to photo manipulation. Photo manipulation is the altering of a photograph to employ various editing or staging techniques to achieve a desired effect.
Editing photographs isn't inherently negative. Photographers can accentuate the image by fixing flaws, correcting the color, cropping, toning, or converting to grayscale. However, there's a fine line between what is considered acceptable and unacceptable. When does the editing become something that makes the viewer feel one way or another? And how far can you go without changing the original meaning or intent of an image? Unethical photo manipulation is the process of adding or removing elements that skews the meaning or creates an illusion that can deceive viewers. It is a visual equivalent of fabricating quotes within a written story.
One of the more common forms of manipulation in journalism occurs within the sector of beauty and lifestyle magazines. Over-retouching and editing to achieve a slim waist, tan skin, and perfect hair establishes a false image of a public figure and portrays an unrealistic standard of beauty for its consumers. This deception to their viewers can foster unhealthy ideals of self-image.
The other, more dangerous side to photo manipulation practices in journalism include the photography of political figures and war scenes. Many of these images are staged or overly edited to paint political figures in a positive or negative light. Additionally, many of these images of war are photoshopped to make the viewer believe that one side is more villainous or more powerful than the other. This practice takes advantage of the influence on public opinion that journalists possess. And with this comes a fundamental ethical issue involved with journalists creating biases in the public's eye.
Excessive photo manipulation that skews an image's meaning can cause a number of problems, such as slandering, influencing public opinion, and having an unfair edge in media. This can cause a number of problems and break many ethical issues within the business and journalism worlds. The most fundamental ethical issues that businesses face today are with integrity and trust with their customer. From A List of Ethical Issues in Business by Kenneth Oster, the best way for a business to succeed is to establish a high level of trust between them and their consumer. In order to establish a trustworthy rapport with the public, journalists must show an unwavering commitment to upholding the ethical standards of their practice.
According to the Markula Center for Applied Ethics, the rights approach states the most ethical action is the one that best protects and respects the moral rights of those affected. This includes the right to be told the truth. If a journalist alters their image to where it no longer represents reality, they are taking away this right to truth from their consumer, who they promise to report factual news. This leads us to the Society of Professional Journalists' first code of ethics, which is to seek truth and report it. This includes providing context and taking special care not to misrepresent or oversimplify in promoting, previewing, or summarizing a story. This allows journalists to be honest and courageous in gathering, reporting, and interpreting information.
It is important to identify your sources clearly. Consider your sources' motives when uploading the image and recognize the ethical issue through the following questions. Could this decision or situation be damaging to someone or to some group? And does this decision involve a choice between a good or bad alternative? After considering all of these approaches of following ethical code, The best solution would be a two-step plan addressing the perspectives of the journalist and the consumer.
In order to enact change within the system, we must also change the culture of reporting media. Reporting the most accurate news needs to take priority over having the most shocking or interesting material. Eliminating financial incentives for fake or exaggerated news relieves the pressure off journalists to supply the overly manipulated photography. Requiring journalists to be transparent with their work is a guaranteed way to bring about change, specifying whether a work is meant to reflect reality or to be viewed as artwork, and being honest about what post-production edits have been made. In the words of war photojournalist and author Michael Camber, don't direct the scene, don't drastically alter in the post-processing, and don't change the context in the captions.
For consumers, always get your news firsthand from credible news sources. Avoid relying on citizen journalism or news from any social media sites. Form your opinion on a topic based on multiple sources and be educated on how to spot bias and outside influence in journalism. Everyone has a responsibility to combat the scourge of fake photography in the news. Supporting investigative journalism and improving digital literacy among the general public is the best way to discourage this unethical practice.
In the age of technology, where news is readily available to consumers at a click of a button, it is imperative for both journalists and consumers to be aware of the unethical manipulation and editing of photography in journalism to combat the disinformation spread by disreputable sources. This concludes our presentation on the ethics of photo manipulation practices in journalism.